I've got both pair of my Wellco Army hot weather boots here. To the right, we got the Type 2 hot weather uh, combat boot. And then here is the Army Combat Boot Hot Weather. And this is a little comparison of both boots. So, yeah. I guess we'll start with this one. The Type 2 Desert Combat Boot was a reiteration of the Vietnam Jungle Boot. Features the direct molded sole in the Panama style with a rough out leather upper with the same type of nylon canvas and desert tan. However, features a padded collar and these speed lace system, and had removed the drainage vents as well as the full length anti-puncture plate, because in the desert environment that plate would heat up and it would stay hot and cause discomfort or even injuries to soldiers. This boot was probably in production from 1998 in the second pattern to around 2003. In 2004, with the switch from the ACU in the tri-color DCU pattern, Desert Camouflage Uniform, to the UCP or Universal Camouflage pattern of the ACUs. They also switched to these boots. These boots have many of the same features, just now in a lighter desert tan color. They have reintroduced the drainage vents because they found out that it'd have to be very fine sand particles to get through the vents in the first place. You still have a direct molded sole, just it comes to right about here. And then they have a polyurethane wedge with a Vibram Sierra outsole. Most likely because it was found out that the Panama sole wasn't suited well in the deserts of Iraq or Afghanistan. Also because the sole was a one-piece direct molded sole, and if it worn down completely flat, there's no way to properly resole it. Whereas with these boots, if you wear the soles flat, you can take it back to a shoe repairman, cobbler, whatever, and if they can get this wedge off, they can glue a new one back on along with this Sierra sole. These type of boots would stay in production from 2004 to around present day. I think that these are still the standard issue boot in the Army and the Air Force. However, not very many soldiers actually wear them. Most of the time, they will opt for something else, anything that is compliant, such as Belvilles, Garmonts, Danners, some other companies as well. There are just better options than these. I think we may have gotten all of our talking points out of the historical segment. Another thing too is that these boots do not have a composite or steel toe. They have a celastic toe or toe stiffener to mainly keep the structure of the boot. However, are technically considered a soft toe. There were steel toe versions of the boot. Many of them made by the Thorogood Boot Company, which is very well known. The company's well known, probably not well known that they were making combat boots. However, those instead of being a direct molded sole, they actually had a Goodyear welt, synthetic Goodyear welt, but a Goodyear welt nonetheless, with the steel toe. Still mainly kept most of the same pattern of the boot. There may be some changes with this boot pattern. I know that the Wellco boot company is no longer around. They went defunct, bankrupt. So I think McRae probably makes these boots now for the army. And I think they have basically what Belleville does, or maybe also Rocky Boot Company as well. Rocky Boots, where the boots are still direct molded sole to only about right about there, and then they have this sole then glued on to that. I'm not really sure. Not really sure though. I had originally gotten these boots for about $40 from a surplus warehouse that is in my area. They actually had both of these models. However, this model was a 10 regular. This one was a 9 wide. Given that I am a 9.5 regular, I was like, I guess I'll take these. And for the first about 4 months, probably, that I've had these, they were good. I did wear them to school during the hot months, and they were okay. Issues that I have started having with them is that with military boots, you have to size down a full size down because they run a little bit large, and I guess also run a little bit narrow. The width for these being wide is okay with me. The length, however, my foot probably stops right about here where my toes end, and then there's about this much of the boot left. And issues I've had with these boots is I would usually, when I go walk upstairs, this lip, there's not much of a lip, but it would catch the lip of a stair, and I trip going up the stairs. And another issue to have is that it was always kicking door frames. So these kind of got phased out. However, for the price, they were very nice, decently comfortable. If I was actually going in the military, I'd probably want to go true to size, going a full size down. Probably width up as well. Would not want to be wearing them the size that they are now. And I guess after, if you ever pass basic, uh, do what everyone else is doing and invest in some better boots, mainly for rock marching, and probably keep these around for, I guess, inspection or field exercises. That is a big difference in size and proportion.